Good day, friends. I hope you're doing really well. This is Tracy Brown, your trauma-informed nutrition therapist and attuned eating expert. And this week we're just doing a little bit of review around body changes for those, folks out here who are menstruating and still in that season of life, whether you're 10 or 12 or you're 60. You might still be in that phase. That's a big gap, I know, and it's very variable. So that's part of the beauty of this work too, is as a human, is recognizing that everybody's different. Everybody has different experiences. So I think this topic is worth speaking on because from what I've read, it's normal to have some symptoms, especially premenstrually. But to have a lot of pain, an extreme amount of bloating, a ton of fatigue, really big mood shifts, that's usually a sign of, I know we call it PMS, but supposedly, from what I'm reading, is that a high level of that is a sign of some not equilibrium in our systems. And that's something that if you look at our blog post this weekend, you can get some ideas about like where should I start, whether it's digestively, whether it's mood, possibly some food changes. I know sometimes that if your blood sugar is dipping too low, you're more likely to have some struggles with your mood, just because if you're restricting before your cycle or right the week before your cycle, you're more likely to binge just because your body has more energy needs than it did from the day one of your cycle to ovulation, and then you start to have higher energy needs again. That's when they go up the most. Again, you can read my blog post about that this weekend, on Saturday, about why that is. I'm not going to go too deeply in this video. But what I just want to remind you of is the acceptance. The acceptance that every week of your cycle, you're going to have different needs. Maybe for sleep. It doesn't have to be giant, but it can be slightly shifting. You could have slightly shifting needs for rest. Maybe certain times of your cycle, you just can't do any intense activity. It's just too much. And then there are times in your cycle you feel more juice and you can do it. And especially with our appetites. Our appetites are going to go up in the luteal phase of our cycle. And I think when we accept that, and it doesn't seem like a threat, we can just eat more food and not feel like we're craving everything, right? And then let our bodies kind of ease back in. Maybe day 1 or 2 of your cycle, your appetite wanes, and again, maybe there's nothing wrong. It's just that's how your body works. So this video really is just a reminder that every week in your cycle can be different, that really take a look. Are you eating enough? If your food is looking a little when I say super imbalanced, I'm being extreme here. I mean like super imbalanced in some kind of way, that maybe you're missing something, magnesium, calcium, fiber. That's something to investigate slightly. Of course, your water intake, your sleep intake, and also your regulation. I'm always going to be pushing on hey, if you feel like you're in fight, flight, freeze, or please, you're going to notice more acutely the symptoms you have. And if you see those symptoms as a threat, if you see water shifts or weight shifts as a threat, you're probably going to be even more sensitive to pain, for example. So lots of things for you to be thinking about. And so I'd love for you to put in the comments below, hey, what do you struggle with? I honestly see that when people start to accept that they're going to have weight shifts in their month, when they start to accept that they're going to have higher energy needs at the second half of their month, when they provide themselves more rest the second half of the month, more self-care, not less, they tend to actually have less symptoms. That's what I notice. And if you want to experiment with that, we'd love to hear how that goes for you, if you see some results from that. If you need a little bit more specific help, please, we do nutrition counseling. So if you need more specific help with your symptomology, just you tried a bunch of stuff and you're not quite sure what's missing or what's too much, reach out to us. I am going to do a little series as well on pre-menopause and in menopause. Now I have all these topics in our peaceful eating community as well. There's actually a module for all this stuff. So you're getting a little taste of some of the things that we work on there too. Gosh, I think that's it for now. This was just a friendly reminder that it's important to accept that there's some level of symptomology that's that's just normal. And then there's some that's like, I think my body may be out of some equilibrium here. Let's get deeper and let's get some non-fat phobic help for this, right? And lastly, that we have to accept that, we're going to have some weight shifts, some hunger shifts. And if you're feeling extremely like, wow, why do I want to eat the whole house? It's probably because there's either been some physical or mental deprivation. And when we clean that up, we might find that that second half of the month doesn't feel so overwhelming. So thanks for watching this. I really appreciate you all. I hope this just encourages you to stay on track with your eating and recovery process as your body does what it's intended to do. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.